Pleasant good morning to you, students of 7A. Today in hfle class, we are going to be looking at life skills. And today you won't be taught by just one teacher, but two teachers. You have myself, Miss Quimby, and my colleague, Miss Leslie, who will be taking you through the basics of life skills. So at the end of this lesson, we are expected to do a few things. So at the end of this lesson, we are expected to compare and contrast the types of life skills. And additionally, we are also expected to be able to define the term life skills. And after participating in discussions, we will be able to list examples of life skills that are used on a daily basis. And one other thing that we will be able to do, we'll be able to say or describe how the life skills we would have identified are used on an everyday basis. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So before we get into the actual lesson, just a little pointers for the paces of this lesson. Please ensure that you raise your hand to ask or answer a question. Be respectful to whenever someone is sharing something, and try to be active participants in today's class. So what are life skills? Has anyone heard the term life skills before? Okay, so what are some skills that you use on a daily basis? When you come to school, what skills do you use? Okay, someone say that they talk to others. Yes, and any other person? Okay, some person say they have to think a lot, especially in math class. Okay, very good. All right, all great answers. So let's dive into what exactly life skills are. So if you look on the slide, it says that life skills can be defined as abilities that enable humans to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of life. So this whole idea of life skills, basically the tools or the assets that human beings would need in order to deal with everyday challenges, because that we all know as students, as teachers, or as individuals in general, we all face challenges. And we need to have the requisite skills in order to deal with these challenges. And the skills or the abilities and the assets that we need to use to handle these situations are known as life skills. Are we all following, students? Great. So let's look deeper into life skills. So to clarify, life skills are often broken down into three types. You have thinking skills. Thinking, this involves being able to think of multiple solutions to a problem or develop new innovations in a creative way. Thinking skills include examples such as 1, critical thinking. So critical thinking can be defined as reflective thinking that focuses on deciding what to believe or do. It may involve organizing facts, analyzing ideas, and evaluating arguments. So now we have creative thinking. So creative thinking involves the ability to understand a problem and also redefine it, transform thoughts, reinterpret information, and ignore existing boundaries to find new solutions. So creative thinking is basically trying to find the new ways and means of doing things. Creative thinking also helps us to find the easy way out, because usually when you find a new way to do something, it's usually an easier way out, right? And also creative thinking helps us to reinterpret information, because we might interpret it one way at first. However, if we use our creative thinking skills, we can have an easier interpretation of something. So now we have social skills. Social skills, this involves knowing how to develop healthy relationships, how to communicate in effective ways, and how to interact with others successfully. So one of the life skills is social skills. And as we know, when dealing with health and so on, social well-being is very important. We must be able to build positive and healthy relationships with others, because we're all sociable beings. We all need each other. And it's very important, it's of the imperative that we build healthy and positive relationships. So social skills include examples such as effective communication. This life skill involves achieving a goal with our communication. So still on the social skills, we have interpersonal relationships. This life skill includes things like sensitivity to nonverbal cues, fear of rejection, and ability to easily adapt when moving from one social situation to the next. So interpersonal skills, right? It's basically with sensitivity and how you interpret things. A lot of times, especially during conversations, a lot of person would use like bodily physical gestures. Interpersonal skills deal with our ability to interpret those gestures or those bodily movements, right? All right, so on to our next slide. Now we have emotional skills. So we are all human beings and we all have emotions. We all feel either happiness, sadness, loneliness at some point or the other. So emotional skills involves being comfortable in your own skin. Dealing with emotions effectively skills involves being comfortable in your own skin. Dealing with emotions effectively and knowing who you are. It is very important that we learn how to cope with our stress. This involves healthy coping skills, engaging in stress management strategies, and using self-care. So stress management strategies are very important. If you find that you become stressed like after long periods of doing schoolwork or something, it's very important that you do something to sweat off the stress. Important to take care of yourself. Find time for you. If you know you enjoy traveling, for example, I enjoy traveling. I like to travel to new places and so on. That is my method of self-care. Now we have empathy. Empathy refers to our ability to understand and share feelings with one another. When you are empathetic, you put yourself in another person's shoes. Make an effort to see what they see from their perspective and feel the emotions that they feel. So there's a common saying that goes, put yourself in my place or put yourself in my shoes. And that is what empathy is all about. Try putting yourself, it's about trying to put yourself in the situation that another person is going through.
As Miss Quimby just went through the life skills, the types of life skills, and examples under the types of life skills, we'll just go through a slight recap before going on to the scenarios. Can anyone remember what a life skill is? Well, I'll go over the definition again. A life skill can be defined as abilities that enable humans to effectively deal with the demands and challenges of everyday life. And we all know that everyday life has a lot of demands and a lot of challenges that are brought to us. So these life skills, the thinking, the social skills, and the emotional skills are what will be used to carry us through the day. Under thinking skills, we had critical thinking and creative thinking. And critical thinking involved reflecting on and organizing thoughts, analysis, ideas, and so on. We have creative thinking, which transforms thoughts, reinterprets informations, and ignores boundaries to try and find solutions to problems. Creative thinking is something we do pretty much every day as we are in school and provided with different scenarios on a daily basis. We have to think of our ways through these scenarios in order to proceed. For social skills, this is one that we literally use every day as we are in school. We have effective communication and interpersonal relationships. We all have friendships and we have relationship with the various teachers, various lecturers as well. We would use effective communication while dealing with these interpersonal relationships as well. And finally, we have the emotional skills. This involves coping with stress and empathy. And I know that school does involve a lot of stress. So this life skill would come in very useful, not only with dealing with the schoolwork, but empathy as well. Dealing with your classmates and teachers, using empathy to understand why students might have late assignments or are unable to complete their assignments. We will now be going on to the different scenarios and have you answer questions under them. The first scenario is, we are inside a school. Across from the school, about quarter a mile away is a library. I would ask the students, 15 of you, to make a line touching the school door to the library door, which would be most likely impossible. So I want you to use different articles of clothing. You could use your jackets, or you could use your socks, your ribbons, whatever. Attach it to your body somehow and try to connect from the two doors. How would you fix this problem? How would you find a solution? You could use the ribbons, tie them around your wrists, and connect to each other. And through this scenario, you would be using effective communication. So you would be helping to amplify your social skills, as well as your creative thinking and your critical thinking skills. We'll go on to the next scenario.
Okay, so scenario number 2 is, okay, so we have a student by the name of, let's see, her name is Shania. She is in the grade 7 class. And one day all of her subject teachers decided, you know what? I'm going to give the class homework. Every one of those subject teachers had to give some homework, and all took the form of one-page essays. So Shania came home and she realized that, wow, I have 8 essays to complete to submit tomorrow. And she begins to cry, she begins to be upset, she begins to be fearful and all of that. Which life skill or what, and to continue, after she realizes that, okay, I can do this. However, before I do this, I need to go and take a nap. And probably when I wake up, I go take a bath and then look at it. So through this scenario, we realize that Shania is using emotional skills. She's trying to self-care and know how to manage her emotions, because we first heard that when she realized that she had to complete all of these essays to submit the following day, she began to cry and feel upset and flustered and all the other negative emotions. However, she then calmed herself, showing emotional management, and then she said, okay, I'm going to take a nap, self-care coming out there, I'm going to get up back, go have a bath, go have something to eat, self-care coming out there again, and then I'm going to tackle all these essays one by one. So all of these encompass emotional skills, all right? Because she was being overwhelmed by her emotions. However, she began to realize that, okay, I can do this. And she began to go into emotional management and so on. So that is the scenario that we will use to look at emotional skills. So now myself and Miss Leslie are going to do a little role play for you so you could guess the skill coming out here. All right, so pay attention carefully. Miss, I realized that we have an assignment to go in on Friday, and it has 4 questions. Which 2 questions you think you can look at? 1 or 2, 3 and 4, 4 and 1? What questions can you look at?
Well, I currently have a lot to do, so I think I'll only be able to do question number 4. I don't know if you could help me out and do the first 3.
All right, then, I don't have a problem. Well, seeing that it has to go in until Friday, I could probably work on 2 tonight, and you could work on 4, and I could work on 3 in the morning. How does that sound?
That sounds good. If I get a change of schedule, I'll get back to you and let you know if I can assist with other questions.
All right, then, I will begin gathering my information this evening, and I will tell you my progress as I go along.
Thank you, Miss.
Great, you're welcome. So students have to observe in that little role play. What life skill do you see coming out? So now we have a few questions for you to go through. You may have to do them for homework, however, we'll be looking at them. So it's the instructions read to view the role play and listen to the scenarios carefully, then answer the following questions. Question 1, you have to list 2 life skills that were demonstrated in the play in no more than 2 sentences. Right, so you have to list the 2 life skills that were demonstrated in the play in no more than 2 sentences. Then number 2, you have to explain how one of the skills identified at number 1 was effectively used in the role play. Number three, you have to discuss one skill that could have been strengthened in the role play. And in number four, in your own words, discuss how life skills are important. So for your homework, what we will do, we will give you these questions and we will embed a video link at the bottom for you to observe the role play, and then you will answer those following questions. Additionally, let's just recap our lesson a little quick. We would have achieved all of our objectives today. We would have been able to define life skills. We would have been able to see how we use life skills during a daily basis. You are able to see and also observe how we use life skill on a daily basis. And we're able to talk about the importance of life skills. So that will bring us to the end of our lesson for today.
I would like to thank everyone for being so participative today. You learned something about life skills, and I look forward to seeing your answers to the homework question.
Yes, we
Thank
both
you,
are
everyone.
looking forward to that.